Hi everyone, it's Sherry from the blog OurLifeHomeschooling.com, where I share homeschooling encouragement for everyday moms. I want to give you this week some ideas to help you raise kids who love to learn. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sherry. I am a homeschooling mom to 10 kids. I'm married to my high school sweetheart Nelson. We've been married for 23 years. I'm a former public school teacher turned homeschool mom. We're starting up our 14th year of homeschooling this year. I love encouraging other moms on my YouTube channel and on the blog OurLifeHomeschooling.com. If you like the content that you see here, would you do me a favor and like and subscribe? How can we raise kids who love to learn? If there's anything that I have gleaned in the several years that we've been homeschooling, it's that this is key. If we can get our kids to love learning, to be curious, then they'll be able to learn whatever needs to be learned in any given circumstance because they'll have this urge to know, they'll want to figure it out. When we help kids love learning, we are setting them up for success. Here are some ideas that have worked really well with our kids over the years. Surround yourself with living things. I think one of the best things about homeschooling is that we're out in the real world compared to being in a brick and mortar building all day, spending the majority of your time there. They're outside. When they're inside, they are surrounded by a lot of living things, things that move, things that change, that are observable. If you think about the nature of living things, they can be experimented with. They need to be fed. They need to be cleaned up after. They're always changing and growing, and so there's always something to learn or a way to make it work better. Kids can observe and interact with living things, which is what makes them so interesting. A home is filled with these kinds of things. Either you can go outside and see them, you can bring them into your home. One of the best is obviously pets. When kids have a cat or a dog that they have to take care of, it's a lot of work and responsibility and a lot to learn. And even just that learning curve of the consistency of daily care, of something that needs regular care that you just can't miss out on for a little bit. Bringing plants into your home or having plants outside is another great idea. We've had my sister-in-law Katrina here for the past week, and she has been so inspiring to me because she wasn't always this way, but over the years she's really gotten this love of growing plants. She lives in Florida, and they've just brought all these different unique plants into their home, and it's just kind of surrounding, like in all these nooks and crannies in their house. And then you go outside, they have these unique things growing in all parts of their backyard, and it just gives her kids something to observe, something to go out and see, something, they each need something different, so they have to learn about that. Bacteria and fermented foods are also things that grow and change, and these are fun for kids to experiment with too. We've done sourdough, we've done kombucha, water kefir. You can do all kinds of science experiments to see what grows in your kitchen. These are things that are really fun for kids and captivate their attention. Having animals outside, like backyard chickens. We live on a small farmette. In the summer, we have chickens and we do have some pigs. Maybe you don't have the property to have some of those kinds of animals, but you can get a terrarium. We've watched praying mantis grow, and we had 2 praying mantises, and the one had babies, and we watched, of course, the female ate the male, and then she laid this egg sac, and all these babies hatched out of the eggs, and there were just like 1,000 of them. And it was such a cool experience for my kids. That was something we did in our home. There are so many living things that you can bring into your home for your kids to observe. Grow a vegetable garden. This is a great project in the summer. Kids can go out and see something new every day, and they love going out and picking the harvest and seeing what they can bring in. You can have a small outdoor little pond where you have a filter and there's fish to feed, and just watching and observing the plant life around that and the needs of the fish. Think of the ways that you can bring life to your home, bring living things into your home, or have a variety of different living things outside, just in your backyard. A second idea for raising kids who love to learn is don't answer every problem that they have. When kids encounter problems that they have to solve, this is a good thing. And when you're in a home, again, this happens a lot. Things break, things fall apart, faucets leak. There's all kinds of problems. We're having someone stopping by today. How many do we have to cook for? Or we don't have this ingredient, so we're gonna have to substitute to prepare for this meal because we don't wanna run out real quick. There are so many problems to solve in a home. And don't solve each of these for your kids. Let them think through it. Let them Google it or look up on YouTube and watch a video of how someone else does it to solve their problems. Or pull out some old encyclopedias or some books off your bookshelf and have them search for answers themselves. I think of some of the problems, just little things that we've had around our house, like when all the knobs on my kitchen drawers get loose. My 5-year-old loves this because he gets out a wrench and he's screwing the knobs on again real tight. And some other things are, for example, when the smoke detectors start going off in our house and we realize we need to change the batteries. Oh, how do you do that? And then just kind of going through how often does this need to be done and why do we have them? It brings up so many conversations. Another problem that I'm sure is not common just to us is sibling quarrels. When your kids argue, sometimes it's good for them to try to work it out and figure it out and solve the problem themselves. So when it's appropriate, let them figure out good solutions and a good compromise. Another way to help our kids love learning is to let them get bored. When they have free time and free space, this is when the real learning begins. This is when they get excited and they get ideas and they're curious and they want to try different things. Don't fill up their schedule so much that there's no time for them to just wonder and think about things. When kids are bored, they do things like build forts or write and perform a play or make a club. They'll go into the kitchen and ask if they can try different recipes. They'll want to learn skills like sewing. They'll build Legos. Kids are naturally curious. This is why they ask so many questions, why they always are asking to do things. They're bugging us because they want to fill their time with something that interests them. And letting them be bored is a way to do this. It's also so crucial that we read to our kids. Read to them a lot, especially things that interest them. When we read to them, we give them a feast of ideas. We take them places that they can't go on their own. There's no boundaries in a book. You can go anywhere in a book. One of my favorite poems is by Emily Dickinson, where she says, "There is no frigate like a book to take you lands away." This is one we've memorized because when you read a book, you can go anywhere. You can learn anything. So it's so important to read to them a lot. This piques their curiosity. Another great idea is to play games together. Board games, strategy games, these are helpful for helping them even just basic math skills, adding and subtracting points. Strategy games will help you just figure out different ways to get to an end. And there's not always one way to do it, and some are more successful, some are based on probability. So these are ways to get their brain thinking. And games aren't just limited to sports. My husband, he's not a board or a card game player. Whenever we ask him, he's not really interested. But to go outside and play any kind of sport, volleyball, basketball, soccer, and this is also good for kids. When they're moving, it's good for their brain to get that exercise and for their hormone levels. It increases their serotonin. It also helps with eye-hand coordination. And anytime their brain is being stimulated, this always drives them to want to have more experiences that challenge them and help them grow. One of the best ways to learn, I think, is by doing. Learning by doing. When we teach our kids life skills, they get mastery, and the more skills they have and they feel confident in, the more they want to try. Teach your kids practical skills like how to change a tire, how to fix a bike chain. My kids, my little girl has asked me to teach her how to crochet, and she'll crochet this long chain. She doesn't know how to do any more than that, and she'll use it for a leash for her little stuffed animal dog. Things like this are great because they're just small ways to help them learn how to do something so that in the future, she's going to want to expand on that, and she's going to think, well, what else can I make? I made this, what else can I do? I've done several videos on life skills, specifically one that is 50 life skills that should be taught at home. I will link that above for you to take a look at if you'd like. Give them daily chores. When kids have a responsibility and something that they are contributing to the family, this is another way to learn by doing. On the topic of learning by doing, I think of some of the businesses that my kids have tried to start. Giving them the excitement for an entrepreneurial skill is something that I just love doing with them because they get excited about this and they come up with different ways that they want to try to market their product. Our girls do a baking channel and they sell baked goods. Our boys have sold things on eBay. Let's see, we've sold vegetables from our garden, wood that they've chopped. I'm trying to think of all the things that they have tried to make money off of. They've had lemonade stands, we've had yard sales. When they start a small little business, even if it's something really small, like they're only making $5 at a time, they learn how to do something consistently, how to make it better, how to manage their time. Another key in growing kids who love to learn is to be a learner yourself. Are you growing in your personal life? Do you have a hobby? Do you read? Do you try new things? Do your kids see you relaxing enough that you are doing something you enjoy? And I think this is really important. In fact, I think this is why some adults just lose that zest for learning. They work so much, we're always working, we're so busy, that we don't take time to truly relax enough to do some of these things that we enjoy just for fun. Let your kids see you tinkering at a hobby. And even if you try something and you fail at it, that's a great lesson for them to observe as well, because they can see how it didn't work, but then you got back up again and you tried something else. We can't expect our kids to love learning if we're not growing, if our schedules are so busy, we're always working, always cleaning, always, getting on top of the next thing. When our kids see us stopping and growing and expanding our knowledge and our skills, that's inspiring. That's a life that is worth emulating. Another idea to help your kids love learning is to make your home atmosphere engaging. Work to make your home an interesting place. And one way we've done this is by having a lot of raw materials. We have fabric. I just think of the times that my daughter has come up to me, hey mom, can I use this fabric? I want to try to sew a dress for my American Girl doll. And it's very primitive. If you would look at it, probably it would not look very good, but in her mind, she has tried it and she has made something, and now she can improve it. She can get better at it. We have a lot of wood. Our kids have built like decorative shelves that you can put on the wall, or one time somebody made a stool for the bathroom. You can have scrapbooking materials for your kids to make cards or little craft items, Play-Doh, kinetic sand, all these things. Blocks are great for kids. My kids have some blocks that I found at a yard sale for like $1, and these plastic animals, we've collected them. They love collecting these animals at this local store here. They're like this big, and they've made these huge towns from these little animals and these blocks and this barn, and I'll come out here in the living room and this whole place will be this little village with all these different streets and roads and houses. And when we make our homes engaging and have a lot of raw materials for them, this breeds curiosity. Spend time together as a family. It's well known that kids who come from trauma or kids that are from broken homes tend to have learning difficulties. When kids don't feel safe at home or when they're worried about their home atmosphere, this tends to stunt their growth and their development, and that's what they focus on more than spending that time learning and growing. The opposite is also true. When we have strong families, kids thrive. When we spend time laughing, going places together, just going to a local park, going out for a hike, even sitting around in the living room talking. This is one of the things that my kids love for us to do. When mom and dad just sit on the back deck or in the living room, we just sit there and we all have, just relaxed conversation. Kids love this. When you have strong family ties and your kids feel secure and safe and happy and you have a loving home, this is fertile soil for them to grow in. Lastly, encourage them to take the initiative. We as moms, we do the beginning parts of their education. We teach them to read, to write, the basics of math. We're teaching them about the world around them. But as they grow, their education really is their responsibility. They're going to reap the rewards in proportion to the effort that they put forth. One of our sons plays the piano, and he just surprises me. I love it. He's constantly playing. In fact, some of our kids get annoyed and just say, please stop playing, turn off the piano, we're tired of it. But he has this curiosity and he has excelled. He surprises me with some of the things he's able to play. And sometimes he has actually, even though he's younger, he's moved ahead of where some of our other kids are. And that doesn't always go well with kids, because when one that's younger starts moving ahead of the others. But I've told them, he has worked at it. He has earned this. He has been so diligent to practice. And it's the same way with anything. If they work hard, they are going to grow more and they're going to go farther. So put it on them. Help them, motivate them to be a self-learner, to learn things on their own and to continue to improve themselves. Have them decide what they want to pursue and accomplish. I hope these suggestions have given you some ideas and a place to start. I would love to hear your ideas. What things do you do to help your kids love learning? Please put them in the comments below so that we can all learn and benefit from them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.